Alright, in this video we're going to talk about gesture recognizers. So I'm going to create a new single view application called gesture recognizers. So we're going to take a look at a few of them. We're going to look at taps, pinching, and rotate. We'll go to viewcontroller.swift, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see how to add these in code. So we're going to add a few action methods that we're going to use to actually implement whatever we want to do when we detect what happens. So first one is going to be called go red. And what we're going to do here is we're going to call this function when the user taps twice. Now what we're going to do, for the sake of illustrating how to do something, is we're going to set the view background color equal to red. And then we're going to have one that changes it to blue. So I'm going to copy and paste and then change the name. And then we're going to change the background color to blue in this one. So now we'll go to our view.load event, and let's see how you add a tap detector in code. So I'm going to say let red tap selector equal pound selector and we're going to say view controller go red. Then I'm going to say let red gesture equal UI tap gesture recognizer. And target, we're going to say, let's see, I think we want to say self. And then for action, we're going to say red selector. So now that we have that set up, we can determine how many taps are needed. So I'm going to say red gesture, number of taps required, and for some reason it doesn't, let's see what's the problem here. Oh, sorry, it should be red tap. Okay, so now we're going to say number of taps required, and so you can put however many you want. So let's say we need one tap to turn red, and then you just add it to your view. View.add gesture recognizer red gesture. So now I'm going to copy all this and paste it, and then we're going to change it to blue. So we'll call this blue tap, and instead of go red, we're going to call go blue. And then I'm going to change this one to blue gesture. Blue tap. And then number of taps required, we'll say 2. And then we'll add that to the view. Okay, so here's our view. I'm going to tap it once, it turns red. Tap it twice, it turns blue, and we can go back and forth. See, I'm not tapping in succession. See, if I tap twice slowly, I don't know if you can hear the click or not. You have to tap twice really quickly to get the blue. Alright, so that's how you add detecting taps. So let's create one for pinching. Pinching is something you might do with an image, and maybe you want to change the scale. But for now, we're just going to do a simple example. So here I'm going to add another action method. So I'm going to say IB action function detect pinch, and then I'm going to say, well, the rest of this is going to be the same as the others. So we'll just change to a different color. So I'm going to say self background color. Self.view.background color is equal, we'll go with green. So now we'll go back to the view to load and figure out how to add a pinch selector. So let's go ahead and copy this and then paste it again. This time I'm going to say pinch detection, and the selection will be detect pinch. So in this case, we'll call this pinch gesture. And then here we're going to have UI pinch gesture recognizer. And then we don't need that. So then we'll add the pinch gesture there. Alright, so we'll tap twice. Let's see, it's not working. Looks like we missed something here. Oh, I need to, forgot to change the detect pinch. Okay, I need to put pinch detection there. Pinch detection. Okay, so this time I'm going to pinch, and you can see it turns green. Tap red, pinch turns green. Now let's go ahead and add a action method for rotation. And what I'm going to do, first I'm going to drag an image into the project. I have an arrow, so that way we'll be able to see if it rotates. And let's I'm going to do this one differently. I'm going to add it to the storyboard, the gesture recognizer I'm talking about, instead of doing it in code, so we can see a little bit different way to do it. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to add another action method. And we'll change the name to do rotation. Okay, so what we need to do here is we're going to say if let view equals recognizer dot view we're going to say view.transform, so we're just going to rotate the view, is equal to view.transform.rotated by recognizer.rotation, and then we're going to set the recognizer.rotation to 0. Oh, I forgot something. You've got to pass the recognizer. And that's going to be of type UI rotation gesture recognizer. That should clear up those errors. So now let's go to our storyboard and see. Okay, so to add a rotation gesture recognizer, or any recognizer, you just find it over here in the lower right, and I'm just going to drag it onto the view. And you can see it puts it over here. Well, wait a minute, I'm going to get rid of this. First, I'm going to add an image view. We want to do this for the image, so I'm going to say image view. And let's go ahead and add that. I dragged an arrow into the project, so there's our arrow. So we're going to rotate this arrow. So now I'm going to go back to gesture recognizer, and I'm going to drag the rotation gesture recognizer onto the image view. So now let's go to its connections. Well, first of all, let's go to the view controller and look for our received actions, and we have do rotation, and I'm going to drag that to the gesture recognizer. And then I'm going to click on the gesture recognizer and connect the delegate to the view controller. So that's all set up. So I'm going to run this on the device because it's a little bit harder to rotate on the simulator. So I'll be right back when I set up the device on the video. One last thing before we run the program on the device, you need to select your image view and you need to select user interaction enabled. And we need to go to our rotation gesture recognizer, and I made a mistake connecting it to the view controller. You want to actually connect that to the image view. Okay, so that should set that up all right, and we'll be. Okay, so I have the app open on my phone, and I'm going to rotate the arrow around by putting my fingers on the screen, and you can see it works. That's pretty cool, and the other stuff is still working. Okay, so there's that completes our lesson on gesture recognizers.